Everyone, today I am going to be cleaning some agates and Jasper that I found on recent live streams. So join me and we are going to get right into it. And here's how I'm going to be doing this today. I'm going to be taking some of the dirtier ones. This one, for example, is not super dirty. It doesn't need too much of a clean. So I might just scrub a few places here and there. But other than that, this guy's going to be good. I'm using this little mini toothbrush. And I also have a nice brand new sponge that I'll be using. And I'm going to be trying out some Dawn Power Wash just to see what that's like. This is just to get the dirt off. This isn't to get any rust or anything like that out. So like for example, this one, this will just be to be getting some of the dirt out of these holes. The rusty color, I will need actual iron out. And so I'll be using iron out for some of these just to get that color out of there and pretty accentuate this blue in there. So let's get started with one of these Jaspers. So I'm going to turn that water on. I'm going to start wetting the Jaspers, kind of showing them off a little bit, you know, showing them off. Here, let me move that camera to get an optimal view. There we go. So that's a pretty nice little red Jasper here. I'm gonna just throw some Dawn Power Wash on this. This is just stuff that regular dish soap works too. I always try to scrub my rocks and agates whenever I get them, but I wanted to wait in this case just to show you guys how I do it. So now that we got this, gonna want to wet the toothbrush. You're just gonna scrub it, honestly, and that's how the whole process goes. And that's what gets most of it off for me. That's what I've found, at least. And yeah, this really also cleans it, so any bacteria from any of your locations you've gone to will kind of, you know, be washed away. It'll be clean enough to eat off of. So this won't be too long of a stream. Just gonna show you guys this process and just take it with you, or take you guys with me. Oh dear, that's not good. Now this Jasper is clean enough to eat off of. Pretty beautiful. I love there's some dark reds, some lighter reds in this. I still got a little bit of soap on it, but other than that, it's looking very pretty. Now, here's one that I really thought is just very nice. You got some red, dark red, but then it's just a wash of color there. And I think that is so pretty. It's so beautiful. So I'm gonna give that a bit of a wash there. Let's try some of this Dawn Power Wash. Haven't used it for cleaning rocks before. I just recently purchased it. I think a full brush would probably be better than this little mini brush, but I can't find my normal brush. Just recently moved, so everything is in random places. So just, I always make sure to scrub your rocks if they can, if they're a mineral that can actually get wet. Silicates, agates, Jaspers, those can get wet. Quartz, you can get those wet. That doesn't matter. But I just thought I'd, you know, film some of this process. So after it's washed off, that's good enough for a kind of overall clean that I'm gonna go for today. So that's some beautiful coloration in there. You just find so many amazing things, even if they're not perfect. Like, I think I'm gonna tumble this one. That's for sure, just to see what kind of patterns I can get on these other less brilliant sides, see if they can match that. That's pretty beautiful. So yeah, I'm just gonna keep cleaning these out. And like I said, these agates like this, just not going to, you're not gonna get the full cleaning effect necessary, but that's okay. I'm gonna be using iron out later, and I just wanna make sure there's nothing on these that might disturb that. There's some beautiful banding. You can see the dirt kind of embedded in. It's really interesting. When I get access to a slab saw or something, I think that's going to prove to be some very interesting interiors. Kind of look gross and weird now, but you know, I just want to give any agate I find the benefit of the doubt, see what I can possibly get. And so I already gave this one a once over before, but you know, this is going to be clean enough to eat off of. Not that you'd want to eat off of an agate, but I've recently started live streaming a bit, and I've kind of come to enjoy it. These kind of longer form, less edited versions, I think, really allow me to kind of ramble and be myself. And it's not something I've seen a ton of. So, let me turn that water down a little bit, just to, yeah. And so, yeah, not going to clean off all of this. This requires iron out, and that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to purchase some iron out soon and be able to really clean these off. But it's already looking pretty nice. The holes now, it's clean. There's nothing really stuck in there anymore. It's going to be good. Now, let's see. What am I going to get? Oh, I think I'm going to go for this agate with quartz plate. It's like a quartz plate, but there's agatization in there. I think this one's going to be very interesting. I didn't really get any of this off. I did rinse it when I was out there, but that is beautiful. I love coming across these. These are all over the Skunk Creek area in North Phoenix. So I've found several plates like that. I'm going to see if this little bit of Dawn Power Wash might be able to get some of the cracks and crevices. It really works well on my dishes, and I'm not sponsored or anything to say that, but I found it works better than regular dish soap. So I'm just gonna scrub that little agate, see if that really gets going. Sometimes they say to let it sit, this Dawn Power Wash, but honestly, I found that it's pretty good at just getting it immediately. Yeah, so this quartz plate, yeah, still gonna have some iron out on the back, or what's gonna need some iron out on the back, but and definitely still within some of these interior areas, but I think this is going to, I'm certainly not gonna tumble this because that would destroy the plate. It's hard to see now that it's wet, but definitely some good crystals. I love these little agate plates. They're some of my favorites. Now, this one is a very strange one. This has some, some quartz, some shiny quartz pockets in there. The reason I picked it up, though, even though it looks like, I don't know, it looks real rough, is this is the same coloration I've seen on moss agate that I got in this region before. But this is obviously in just a lot worse condition, and you can really see that there's some dirt in that pocket down there. So I'm gonna see if a little bit of soap might be able to clean it up. I will say though, yeah, you can see the moss now. That's really in there. So I wish it didn't have these pockets, because that would be a really decent moss agate. But, you find what you find, and I think it's still beautiful. It just needs to be a little cleaned. Yeah, so that's my suggestion, is always clean your agates, your rocks, anything you find when you get home. You don't know where that rock's been or what's been doing things on top of that rock. So it's better to just clean it, whether you found it in a field, you found it in a stream. It's just better to clean rocks when you bring them into your home. And so these rocks are from my two most recent streams, where I did some urban rock hounding up in North Phoenix. And let's see, just gotta really try to scrub that interior pocket just to try to really clean this up. You can see the quartz in there. It's beautiful. I mean, I don't know. It's not jewelry grade, but I don't know. I just think it's pretty. I'm just a fan, especially that moss. And you can really see in that pocket now, it's maybe not, but it's definitely a lot better than it was before. It's nice little agatization. I just think this rock needs a little bit of tender loving care. So maybe some hand polishing. These pockets won't be good for tumbling. It'll just hold the grit. So I'll probably be hand washing or hand polishing those, because that's the only way it's gonna get what it needs. Might try to soften this surface there, but that's very pretty. All right, on to the next rock. Let's see. I'm gonna move on to the big one. Here's this big one. This is a beauty. Now, it's not gem quality, obviously, because it's full of holes, but I wanted to pick her up. I felt like she was pretty nice. And so these are rocks that I had already kind of rinsed a little bit. I'll be getting to the really dirty ones soon. So I'm just gonna rinse it. Go. Now it's nice and rinsed. Love the blue color on this. Then I'm gonna spray some dish soap on there. Yeah. And this is another one of those rocks that's gonna just need some nice iron out, that's for sure. This will require some iron out. I don't think this is gonna do the job. I think it's time to upgrade to the sponge on this one. All right. Brand new sponge, haven't used this before, so it's nice and clean, doesn't have any grime or gunk from anything else. Yeah. I just love picking up my own finds. I love giving them the care they need to look nice and pretty. I mean, how can you not be romantic about rocks? They are just magnificent. Kind of haphazard in the way I'm doing this. Not exactly clean, but if there was a ton of dirt, you'd see it. It'd be brown. So this one just doesn't have a ton. Let's see. Let's get that bit of a reveal. It doesn't look too different, this one, just because of the nature of its host rock. It's a lot of iron oxides. So this guy's going to need some serious iron out to clean this one up. I'm gonna rinse it off a little bit more. There's still a little bit in there, a little bit of soap. But I think it'll look a lot prettier for sure when it's gone through the iron out stage. Okay, so that was my first trip. Those were some of the rocks from my first one. I'm not showing all of them. I guess I could show kind of the beauty of it when it's wet. So let me wet this. I'll wet this one and I'll wash it just to make sure it's nice and clean. And I'll use that sponge since this one is huge. Just scrub-a-dub-dub. Just give the rock a nice bath. I always end up doing this when I come home. Feel like it's kind of just part of I don't know, part of my process. Come home, clean them. And I just wanted to wait for this one, for this group of agates and rocks I've recently found. There we go. Just nice and clean. Let's see if we can clean it off, clean her off. I think this is gonna be a beautiful one. Eventually I'll get a slab saw. Then I think eventually I'll slab this up because this is some gorgeous color on this Jasper. You just got those flecks of dark red, the lighter, almost quartz in there, the darker color. I just love non-uniform Jasper. I just think it's just so freaking special. I love it. And there's so much more out there. And now I've cleaned off the ones that were, you know, not really dirty. Now it's time for the dirty ones. Here, I have a bit of a geode, broken open geode. You see the white calcite, still has some of the black basalt to it. And the agatization is like a bluish, but then there's some red in there. And I think I'm going to scrub this one, and I think it's going to turn out absolutely beautiful. I still have some soap on this sponge, but the sponge might be a little too big for this one. So I'll just cover it up with some suds. Take my little mini toothbrush that I don't use for my mouth, and I will just start scrubbing. Let's see if I can get this all cleaned up. These rocks are just beautiful. I just love how you can go almost anywhere and just find gorgeous little rocks that are just so unique to themselves. And, you know, I think every region, every part of the world has its own unique little, unique, you know, special rocks. Very lucky here in the Southwest to have some absolutely stunning rocks. Now I'm just gonna clean out the geode just to really get the colors out, get some of that dirt out. Boom. And there it is. That is beautiful. Big fan. I wish you guys could see the quality at which I see it. It is amazing. There's just so many little mini layers inside the red. But that is good for now. For this one, I'm gonna go for the next little, well, let's go for this little agate. This one I haven't washed off at all. So this one is a very dirty. This is a very dirty rock. There is dirt coming off in my hand. You know, I have not rinsed at all. So here we go. Let's see if I can spray some scrub-a-dub-dub-dub right on this beautiful little messed up agate. All shattered and messed up. I'm just gonna get some scrubbing in. Let's see if I can get this. Man, it just doesn't want to turn. There's some different colors in the soap. It's not just white soap anymore. Oh wow, yeah, that's really dirty. That's some serious dirt. Yeah, it's gonna look a lot better in a moment, that's for sure. Yeah. Just a lot of dirt, a lot of iron oxide. I'm gonna dip some of these in some iron out, and I think that'll make them look a lot prettier. That'll take a 24-hour period, and I don't have any more iron out on me. Are you pre-soaking these to loosen it up? Some of them, yeah. Some of them have been pre-rinsed. Man. But this one hadn't been. I wanted to get some of that nice sudsy there. Yeah, it's not, you know, gem quality, but I don't know. I just really enjoy that coloration. I really enjoy it. Yeah, but most of the time I do rinse them out. But this will definitely get some more tender loving care later on. I just wanted to kind of partially just show off all of the things that I had found recently while streaming. I'd never really considered streaming in rock hounding before. It's certainly not to the quality that an edited video gets to, but I feel like it really gets like the time and energy required when you're just searching a stream bed. And I'm fortunate because I do have a few spots here in Phoenix I can go to. They're, you know, even in the summer, it's like 110 and everything, but I can go out early in the morning and really get some, just get some good time outside. I feel like streaming it has like reduced the problems that, not problems, I would say the amount of effort necessary to film and worry about getting good shots. I feel like streaming it recently, you know, I'm just beginning that process, but I feel like it's very much, I'm able to really naturally flow, not really worry about the perfect shot, but like try to interact with people. And I'm lucky that there is a spot within the city that I can go to, but it is limited because most of the spots that I really enjoy going to in the Phoenix metro area are outside of any kind of cell service. But if I was up in visiting Washington, where I'm from the Seattle area of Washington, I would be doing a lot more. I could be doing a lot more since there's just so many spots on the western side. And yeah, I don't know. I kind of just brain dump, and I'm still just figuring out, learning how to do this. Yeah, a starling dish on my back. I love that. That's actually something that I thought of when I was going out Saturday morning. I was actually thinking of exactly that. I was thinking of a starling dish, and I was like, man, that would be kind of cool, be able to go out and just middle of nowhere and just stream live. I don't know. It's just, it's really kind of nice. I just don't worry about the shots. I just go out there, try to make sure that it's, you know, somewhat straight, somewhat, you know, not crazy. I have a pretty significant tremor, so it takes some effort to make sure it's all, you know, not all over the place, not crazy. But I don't know. It's a new experience I'm trying out, and I hadn't really seen it. I started looking around, and I hadn't seen many others do that. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do on some of them, is I'm going to go back and edit it. Because, yeah, there's a lot of empty airtime. There's a lot of just me rambling. And, you know, there's good rambling, and then there's bad rambling. And, you know, yeah, it'll just take some time, take some getting used to, I really think. But, yeah, it's still a lot of fun. I found that it was just it was really enjoyable. I like making videos because it really like helps me like get out of the comfort zone of like, oh, you know, I don't have the energy right now. I don't feel like it, but it's just so good when you actually do end up getting out there, and it's just like, oh man, this is what I needed. I needed this to lift my mood. I needed, you know, I needed some rocks in my, okay. Okay, yep. Yeah, that's one of the things, is with streaming, it disconnects immediately. It disconnects immediately, and then you get a lot of dead time. Another major issue that I always run into is during the summer here, it's just that, I don't know. It's just the yeah. That's one of the problems with streaming, though, right? You end up cutting out randomly, even if you're in the middle of the city, just because sometimes there's a little bit of a hiccup. So that's an issue, and that definitely was some major problems when I was rock hounding and doing that, and it was definitely a distraction and kind of a con to it. But this was this beautiful Jasper. Actually, my phone had completely overheated. And so I went into the shade and found this beautiful like Jasper, and there's some nice yellow Jasper out here too, but I hadn't seen them combined quite like this. And this will definitely need some more cleaning just to get the remainder off. And like you had said, that pre-soaking them, that's what I usually do, but this time I just moved and I didn't have my normal little bins for soaking. Moved a little bit more into the city. There we go. Here's one that I really wanted to clean. Just this little kind of agate nodule. And that's probably the last one that really needs a good cleaning. The rest are pretty clean Jaspers, but yeah, I'm gonna clean this one up. Yeah, I think that streaming rock hounding could be pretty great, and I think that it has the opportunity, certainly. And going back and cleaning up the tape could really make some good longer form content, which I tend to struggle, honestly, with a bit of the longer form content. I usually go with shorter, but I still getting in the habit of it. I'm also trained as a video journalist, so filming is just, I always do the short several second clips, and that's usually what I go for, because that's how I was trained in videography, was to be a news journalist. But that path wasn't something I'm interested in. Now I'm in natural resources, and I work for the local government down here. But yeah, so the long form content is definitely harder to do. I know I've seen so many other creators just be able to pump out 30, 45-minute videos of their trips. And, I've been able to get them a bit longer now. They're sitting up more towards 10 minutes, but certainly struggle with some of the longer content. So this is kind of something that I enjoy, being able to put out something a little bit longer, a little less. I don't know. I can be myself a little bit more if I'm talking like this. But yeah, that's kind of a nice little nodule there. If I can get it in, and the camera will like it. Yeah, I'll probably need some. But man, it means I filmed like 22 minutes of it. Yeah. And as I've noticed that as time's gone on, I went from filming like 30 minutes and ending up with a 3-minute video to now I only film like 12 minutes and I'll get in like 8-minute video out of it. And yeah, but I still really, I don't know, I want to be able to put out a little bit longer content. During the summer, this time of year, it's really difficult to actually do that because of just because of the heat. The heat really controls how long I can go out there and spend time doing this. It's 107 today, and this weekend it was really, yeah, exactly. And I'm still pretty early in the process. It does take some time to figure out what works for me and what kind of thing I want to be doing. And so I'm trying this out. This may not necessarily be something that I want to do long term, or the streaming side of it. But I don't know. It's something unique. It's something new. It's a little bit fresh for me. And, you know, I don't have a huge audience, so I kind of get to just talk about whatever and get to interact whenever I want, whenever someone happens to make a comment. So, you know, yeah, it's good. It's good to give it. It's good to give it a bit of a try, but we'll see. We'll see how long it goes, how well it goes. Man, I love this red Jasper. This is just phenomenal. I think that'll probably be the last one, though. The rest are really quite clean anyway. But yeah, thanks for stopping by. Really, you know, really enjoy talking. Really enjoy being able to just kind of ramble at you, I suppose. So, you know, have a wonderful rest of your day, and I wish you the best. Have a great week. See ya.